use our power. Tiger Sword! How do you help with you and your clay cronies? NinJeTTi power now! White ninja power now! Smart! Fury 5! Scissor Turbo! Red Lightning Turbo power! What are you talking about? You haven't been fighting us. You've been fighting for your life. And you've proven your will to live is stronger than any ranger. Good luck, Black Ranger. Dino Thunder! Power up! Brachial power!
Fuck KoD, you fear rappers. Sit back, I'm about to sit back, I'm about to begin. Sit back, I'm about to begin. Sit back.
I felt like a Spanish, like a Puerto Rican in this hair. I felt Puerto Rican. Y'all know I loves me some Puerto Rican. I felt Puerto Rican in this. Rican. Ooh.
Rest in peace. I gotta give him the business. Just a regular guy who gave this shit a try. Using knowledge as a weapon from the moment of inception. I stay whipping that ass, boy. You need to get the steps. Cause damn, this shit is hectic. So I stay eclectic with cash, money, and hoes. But I guess this gotta go, man. I switch it, I suppose. Kick it like a preacher, cause the culture need teachers, man. Follow your art. But homie, bring your brain with you. Class is now in session. Told you whack niggas early dismissal. Finding magazines for the issue. What you expect from these soft niggas? Somebody can grab a tissue.
Yo, they rise from the shadows, NinJeTTi in the night. Guardians of the innocent, ready for the fight. Evil in the sights, they ain't backing down. Defenders of the weak, they're the talk of the town.
NinJeTTi, morphin attack, bringing hope, got the world on their back. In the darkest hour, they paved the way. NinJeTTi, here to save the day.
They step to the front, fearless and bold. Against all odds, man, the story's untold. For the ones who can't fight, they take the stand. With every battle, they protect the land.
NinJeTTi, morphin attack, bringing hope, got the world on their back. In the darkest hour, they paved the way. NinJeTTi, here to save the day.
Through the fire, through the storm, they transform. Standing tall, making sure the evil's all gone. With every move, they keep the peace. NinJeTTi on the block, man, the fight don't cease.
NinJeTTi, morphin attack, bringing hope, got the world on their back. In the darkest hour, they paved the way. NinJeTTi, here to save the day.
NinJeTTi, they never fall. Defending the weak, answering the call. In the name of justice, they're here to stay. NinJeTTi, always leading the way.
What up, y'all? KoD, Freaking Ranger, NinJeTTi Formation. We are back, episode 5. Man, sorry for the delays. Freaking Ranger returns. Like I said, NinJeTTi Formation. I got the boys with me. What's good? We want to touch about things, man. We got a lot of Legend of the White Dragon talk going on. Man, we're going to review Power Rangers Prime with the goons and give y'all a little goonology. Without further ado, let me bring up the boys, man. Y'all already know the co-host, the Terminator, Mr. Icona. Back for more. What up, C?
Always ready.
What up, C? How we
Always
doing,
ready.
man? Check in,
Man, how you feeling? How you feeling?
Y'all already
Rick?
know. Blue
Man, understood.
Blue both in the building.
Don't worry. Before we start, you heard me. Y'all like this video, subscribe to the page, and hit that noti bell. You feel me? Yeah.
You already know. You already know. We did it for the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And also we got, you already know, the main goon, our new H-Nick, man. Killer Cam, you already know. Back for more. With the silk shirt,
Already.
looking like $1 million. You already know.
That been
We
looking
got the
sexy.
double horns.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Just got off work,
Welcome
but
back.
I'm ready
Welcome
for
back,
I'm
Cam.
ready to get into it. I've been looking forward to this all week. I should have went and grabbed my flashcards, shit, because I've been writing shit down while I was at class. I was just like, I finished most of my
Well,
I finished all my tests before everybody else, so I was just in that bitch, showing face. So I was just there. So I was just like looking at videos and shit, writing shit down, chilling. So I'm gonna try to remember some of them talking points because my fucking flashcards in the other fucking room.
Well, it's lovely having you.
We got a big show.
We're gonna
It's
get
the
into
big show.
Always
get
a
into
pleasure.
some of that
What do you
Legend of the
guys?
White
I mean,
Dragon
what do you
talk.
want to pick up?
Man, you already know, bro.
Yeah,
I'm ready
man.
to get into the
Listen,
Legend of that
so how's the
legend.
lag and the delay?
Man, we good.
We good.
Y'all picking
It sound
me up
good.
okay?
It sound better than earlier.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
what
let's
you
do it.
call
As you know, let's see. I got Rican behind me. Y'all see the armor? That's Rican's basic armor behind me right there. That's basically my homage to the traditional Green Ranger suit. So the actual suit from the Green with Evil saga with the basic shield. So let's get right into it. This episode, basically, I got some NinJeTTi leaks for y'all. Like you said, C said, we're gonna cover a lot of the Legend of the White Dragon stuff that's been going on. Aaron's obviously getting dragged by the trash tubers constantly because people want this movie. So we're gonna talk about all of that from a fan perspective, from a Ricanville perspective, from everything, and from KoD perspective. And obviously I want to talk about Aaron.
We got to get into Prime.
Yeah, the Prime series. I've been playing catch up with Prime. So, and then I'm going to give you guys 2 exclusive NinJeTTi leaks at the end of the show. I'm going to show you guys what my character Rican is going to look like in the actual book and the style of the book itself. It's going to be an Americanized manga, and a lot of people still talking shit, thinking this shit's not going to happen. And, I'm full of it. So I want to give you guys some progress. My real supporters, my real fans, keep them updated. You guys know I talk about this book all the time. So we're going to give them a little bit of shit. So without further ado, let's stay on that, right? I've been watching a little bit of Wild Force. I've been watching some SPD. I've been watching some old school seasons to kind of basically fill in the nooks and crannies of the script, give you guys a couple spin-offs. We're going to have a book 0 now. We're going to give you guys like a prequel into book 1. So I'm kind of structuring the release therapy of this shit a little bit. So that's why it's taking a little long. And of course, we need the spot fund to get going. I'm going to have Sam, my artist, come on one of these episodes and basically introduce you guys to the guy that's actually drawing this shit. So this episode, we're going to give you guys the style of the book. And then next episode for the mid-season finale, we'll give you guys the artist who's going to be doing most of the sketching. So you guys know what's going on with NinJeTTi. Basically, now is when we got to fill the piggy bank and the fans got to step up and track every dollar. And Rican will tell you everywhere it's going so we can get it done. You know what I mean? So the Wild Force editions are cool. Like I said, I debuted Honey Badger. We got the Warhog. He's a maroon warthog. Think of like in War Machine meets Pumbaa from Lion King. We got that Ranger. I'm gonna debut.
When I was a young warthog.
Some more AI. Hakuna Matata Warhog, We about to hook him up for Cam. That's about to be Cam's Ranger. That's the honorary Warhog. So we got to get Cam's suit popping. So if you're just putting everything together, basically is where we at, boys, with the book. So we're about, honestly, guys, I'd say about 3 to 6 months away. Hopefully closer to 3, maybe around Jason's birthday, my birthday. Shout out to my Virgos. So let's where you guys want to start. Basically, we'll save my stuff for the end. Let's talk about White Dragon, right? Or basically the word is this thing has been in color correction for Lord knows how long. Every time, damn near Aaron speaks, the movie's in color correction, which I can understand why some people get upset, right? But at the same time, where you guys at as far as delays? Do you think he's full of shit sometimes? Is he pocketing some of the money? Y'all see the new crib, the new OnlyFans wife. There's a lot of shit going on as far as like the Aaron lore and what he's really doing. Is he using JDF's name? Like, what's going on with this ninja? Because what's true is, give me guys, let's go around the horn, man. Where we at with White Dragon?
I feel like it's a little bit of
and all this. That
I'll let Cam
two things can be true at the same time.
Unpack that for me, both of y'all.
Two things can be true at the same time. Not saying, okay, let's say hypothetically, I had a movie and it wasn't finished, but I know the fan base behind this movie wants this movie. And say I got Tobey Maguire in this bitch, and this is Tobey Maguire's last hurrah. Yeah. Before he said fuck movies and TV show, fuck all that shit. But it ain't finished. So yeah, let's just say it's not finished. So yeah, I'm gonna tell the people, hey, it's color. We need to color correct. We working on something, trying to give you the best product we can. Woo woo woo. But also, you can't help but see, like, nigga, you got OnlyFans, bitch. You just got married, nigga. Like, that costs money. Like I understand life don't stop, but like, nigga, where this movie at? Like, what is movie? Like I said, life don't stop. This shit could have been planned already, but it seems a little bit funny because with a budget of $4 million, right? $4 million for a Power Rangers movie. You can do a lot with that, bro. A lot with that. Especially when especially when the script already there. It's basically been written for you by another nigga. So all you got to do is bring together the cast. Maybe let's say you got some CGI, hire somebody for that. Whatever, do your production, do your marketing, and the bitch done. Essentially.
Well, can I pause you?
Can I
pause you real quick, Kim?
Go ahead.
Can I pause you? How do you guys feel about all this audio that's coming out with JDF talking shit basically on Aaron, or how it's being perceived or presented to the audience? Don't forget about that. Unpack a little bit of that.
Shit fishy, bro.
I was gonna bring all that up.
Yeah, okay.
That shit's definitely fishy.
Keep going.
Let me see.
So,
well, I'm done. I said what I had to say. That's why I said it seems a little bit fishy, but like I understand, like life don't stop lifing. But at the same time, like the whole point of making a movie, I don't care if it's your passion project. I don't care if it's your daddy's dying wish. The main goal is to make more money back than you spent. $4 million ain't that much money. Right. But I know we could like, boom, I could invest the initial 4 million or shit, it not even a whole 4 million, let's say 2 million. And I can make at least 10, 20, 15 million. I would be running to that. But I would also want to put my best foot forward. Cause I know the fan, even if it's bad, cause let's not lie, like Kamen Rider, Moomin Rider, Power Rangers, they got some moments where that shit look good, but it's not. It's like the old Godzilla, like when they transform them into Zords, they using the same formula. It's a nigga in a suit with the fucking shit built around him like he in the city.
That's cheap.
It ain't that deep. The recipe ain't really changed. So you got that shit. It's like it lets you focus more on story than spectacle. Because that's what that shit is. It's about the story.
And that's really where Jason was that's where he was trying to like put all his eggs in that basket of the story aspect of it. Jason necessarily didn't want this to be a generic Power Ranger copy and paste or a Power Ranger ripoff.
Yeah.
He wanted to create his own thing. He wanted to create something for himself and his fans, which is
might have been some fire shit.
It's understandable 100%. Now, all the I will put it like this: the controversy surrounding the movie, it only benefits the movie and the release of it, right? So all this stuff, it's making a spectacle, it's making hoopla surrounding the movie to the point now that we want it even more, right? No one's going to get to a point,
right.
To be honest with you, fans will be pissed off about it. A lot of fans will be like, hey, I'm not going to support this movie. I'm not going to support Aaron. But once he says, hey, here's the link, the movie's out now, you're going to go watch it. We know that for a fact. Regardless, it could be cheesy as hell. We're still going to go just because the simple fact it's Jason's last hurrah. It's his last movie that we will ever see. His last, and then on top of that, it's not
throw something in the mix?
Can I throw something?
I want to throw something in the mix. The Superpower Beatdown, right? The Superpower Beatdown cost $3,000. I saw in a clip, the one with Scorpion and the White Ranger, and that was how long that clip? Maybe that fight was maybe 7 to 10 minutes. That video,
but animation is expensive though.
No. I'm talking about Superpower Beatdown.
Yeah,
Superpower Beatdown, the real.
I'm thinking about goddamn, what's that shit where they have like Goku versus Superman? Shit, I forget what that shit's called.
Check this out though.
But it's live action.
Check this out, right? Let me see if my math is mathing. Let's say that fight's 15 minutes, right? For $3,000 for a 15-minute fight or clip or video of that caliber. So if it's $3,000 for every 15 minutes, hypothetically, right? Could you really say that? How much of a budget to do an hour and a half of Superpower Beatdown type filming, right? We still only at $150,000, maybe $200,000, $300,000, $500,000. If I've got $4 million and I have JDF, I'm giving him $1 million off the bat. I'm just saying my personal opinion, right? Before I slide it back to you guys, I'm going to offer him, whether he takes it or not is up to him. But if it was Rican and this was NinJeTTi and JDF is like, yo, I'm in, I'd like to take $1 million, and obviously you get $1 million, and you know what I'm saying, or half, or even half. You tell me what obviously I'm going to consider his opinion on how much I should take, but if it's going to cost $500, it's going to cost $500, and only Aaron knows how much that shit's going to cost. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that's really the only issue I have is like kind of the money thing. Is like taking half is like, especially where this is a project that you need for it to stick on the dartboard and make an impact culturally. There's got to be a little bit.
Jason will probably do that shit for free. He just be like, put my money that you was gonna give me back into the project.
Even that,
just so he can successfully get his own IP,
Yeah. It's all speculation, and I hate to speculate, but I'm going to speculate, right?
Well, we're talking about speculation.
Yeah,
he asked us about our speculatives.
We heard audio stating that from a person who was scorned. Also, you have to take that into consideration. The person who's saying that he took half of the money already was a person low-key burned by Aaron. So now we have to take this with a grain of salt. Even though he was having a conversation with JDF, we didn't hear JDF confirm or deny pretty much any of it. We just heard a light back and forth, and at the end of the day, we never heard Jason come out publicly and denounce Aaron. We never heard him come out publicly. That was a private conversation. So what he says in a private conversation is different. It would be different if Jason actually came out in public and told the fans before his death that, hey, Aaron's on some other stuff. Aaron's this, Aaron's that, right? He never did.
Right.
So that's something we have to take into consideration. He never denounced the
project.
Hold on.
See, they did that with me too, right? With the phone call with Renee, because that was a private phone call. I didn't come out and say any of that publicly either. You see what I mean?
Yes.
And they
It's a big
always try to
difference.
spin it like I said that publicly. It's a big,
Yeah,
of course it is. Of course it is. But
if a
continue.
person says something, and I would say something in the privacy of my home that I'm necessarily not going to go out here and say in public. Those are two different things, especially if we're talking about business, right? I can have an emotional conversation on the phone with my mom pertaining something business, and I go into a meeting the next day and something totally different comes out, and then you record that conversation and put that conversation out posthumous, right? Like, oh, this is what he was feeling. Yeah, he was feeling that at a time, man. When they went into the business meeting, something else transpired, and they got to brass tacks during that business meeting. That's not the same as an emotional conversation that I'm having with somebody. Let's say I could talk shit about my boss at Walmart, right? I'm working at Walmart. I talk shit about my boss, but when it's time to go in here and get the job done, we're going in here and get the job done. What I said outside of this business meeting that we had before, it doesn't matter, man. Or I could take my feelings in that meeting and fuck up the whole project. Now,
well, can I ask you guys this?
Hmm?
Can I ask you guys this? Do you guys feel like Aaron is milking the name a little bit because this is JDF's first hurrah and last hurrah at the same time?
I'm not.
It's kind of like,
well, first of all, you got to.
Yeah,
that's what the whole movie. You got to.
Well, that's what
but
my point is. It's
we
like
would have to speculate because is he getting money from just talk? Like, I understand if somebody asks you to be on their show, they most likely gonna pay you, but that's only gonna take you so far. Because I don't know what contracts were signed. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, but if this movie don't, I'm just saying if certain contracts were signed, if that movie don't come out, he could possibly get sued.
No,
possible. It
no,
depends. Like, I don't know what contract was signed though. I don't know what Jason left. I don't know what instructions he left. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you could possibly get sued by the family or by his own production company if I'm pretty sure he had one. So
yeah, there's an investor, a big one. But check this out, right? It all comes full circle because the more you talk about JDF, the more weight you put on the name, right? Because he's gone. When it comes full circle, because now they're looking for this summer. Because if you technically look at what he said, he's like, it's coming out this year, 2025. We're gonna own the summer, you know. Jenna's saying this year, he said this year. So the more weight you put on the name, the blowback is gonna come at the end. Because now the pressure is like pressure bust pipes, right? Because it's gonna keep building and building and building to the point where the fans are gonna get rowdier and rowdier now because y'all said
like
this
Dave
summer
Chappelle
already.
said, how do you think my fans are gonna think? How do you think my fans
and we
are
approaching the 5-year
fans
mark.
are crazy.
No, but
the last time I seen some
5-year
fans do
mark.
some fanatical shit, they stormed the White House.
5-year mark.
I'm just saying,
crazy,
fans is wild.
But and here's the bigger thing about the whole thing. We haven't heard. We hear a bunch of people who have nothing to do with this project. We hear a bunch of people and their opinions on it, right? And what they feel, and then they're manipulating the fans so they can get content, right? By stating that, hey, this isn't coming out. So by them emotionally manipulating people, we have people in the fandom like, well, what if this doesn't come? Which if this guy didn't exist and the people who are saying this didn't exist, we would still just be waiting for Legend of the White Dragon and hanging on to what Aaron is saying. Or what even Jenna is saying. Because why would I believe that Jenna is basically, why would I think that she would mess over her father's name? Why would she be stating, hey, it's coming, guys, if she knows for a fact it's not coming? Then it's all the things surrounding it. Aaron's trying to get streaming service to get behind the movie. So it's not just I'm going to release it on the internet one day and here, you guys can have at it. No, I want you guys to actually I want it to have a home for it to live in.
Right.
At least if it's a licensing deal where it's like, hey, they're going to stream it for the next 6 to 8 months or something. At least it'll have a home to live in. And now we don't have to worry about, well, where do we go to? He will have a place. He'll have all his ducks in a row. getting a movie done is such a, and especially if you don't have a big studio behind, you're a big investor behind you. It's different than having a big studio behind you, right? You have to
Because they'll take care of that
have
shit for you.
all your ducks. You have to have security in place just for you to make the money back. If you don't, if he doesn't have none of, he can have the movie done right now. If he don't have it secured in a place where he can make the money, guaranteed to make the money back, because now he has a big guy behind the scenes who's like, hey, I invested X amount of dollars into this. I'm expecting X amount back. We're not looking at the business aspect of this, right?
Go ahead.
And it's a particular business. We can't look at the standards of the industry itself when it comes to this movie, because this isn't an industry standard movie.
No,
this is literally, yeah, it's literally Jason and Aaron being like middle finger to the industry. We're gonna go over here and we're taking our ball and we're going home, basically. Right. You feel me? Like, we're gonna do this over here. Y'all do whatever y'all gonna do. And guess what? Jason had so much confidence in this movie. He's like, the fans are going to follow me wherever I go, and they're going to wait. So if you're truly a fan, you're going to wait. You're going to listen. And even regardless of what Aaron has, he knows that he has a stigma now. So he knows for a fact this movie has to come, regardless.
Yeah.
Well,
let me cook a couple points, right? Before I forget. This is what I think. Like I said, the more he waits, the relevance sways, because you can make something more relevant based on how much you talk about it or whatever, but the amount of time span you make the fans wait, right, is gonna basically determine their attitude about waiting and where it's at. And that's what I think he's battling a little bit. It's like it's really getting out of balance because it's taking too long. And what we see that we're gonna get, we're kind of projecting that the quality is not really where it needs to be, which is why there's so much hesitation, right? So if this is like a high level in a high level indie film, like you're saying, see, I'm gonna repeat and I'm gonna say, Aaron, you have to make high level independent moves. Like I told you, Weekend's giving you one for free, bro. Make this a direct download. Like, you remember the old school DVDs used to come with a QR code with like a sleeve, and you scan it and it came with the free digital version of it. And you went to like this website and you could download it, and you had it on your computer digitally in like the, I don't know, late 2000s or whatever. They still do it, but like back when Blu-rays were coming out. If Aaron did like an app, like I said, that it's $9.99 to download, whatever it is, and you could zap it from your phone to the TV, kind of like the Rangers teleporting, you know what I mean? Like just like a what do they call it? Like the Apple Watch, like when you watch Disney Plus on your phone and then you zap it to Apple TV. If he came up with like a quirky, cool way for like people to buy it directly from him and then zap it to their TVs, I think it would be cool because you're a high level indie film. You want to engage the fans a little bit, right? You know, if you're not going to drop it on Tubi, if you're not going to drop it directly on YouTube as a subscription, get YouTube TV subscriptions, you know, make a deal with YouTube directly and drop it directly with YouTube. Who cares? You're the king of YouTube, right? I told Aaron in his comments, I said, fuck a hater, Aaron, you know what I'm saying? Fuck a hater, because honestly, you changed fan film creation on YouTube forever. Same with Unworthy. I may not like everything he does, but his level and what he's accomplished, you can't take what he's carved out of the mountain. You see what I'm saying? So regardless of what they say about me and Unworthy and the way they put us against each other, I'll never not take that from. And he's from Jersey. So like I said, there's never no problems or hate. I respect Unworthy tremendously. I just don't agree with all the direction wise as a fan. And I have my opinions, but other fan film people like Aaron is a top level. Who's above Aaron? Even if he's just a YouTuber, right? And he's just superpower beatdowns. When those came out and those happened on YouTube, it changed how people did YouTube shit.
100%.
He was a shift. in that culture, right? Even if it was just YouTube culture, fan filmmakers, he shifted that culture. Whether it's small, it's cult follow, whatever it is, Aaron came through with them beatdowns and had all of YouTube's attention. Right? He's done how many million views on each one? How many of them he's put down? He's raised money how many times? So I don't care how much you guys hate on Aaron, his formula kind of worked, and it got him to work with JDF and got it. So apparently, you know, it sucks we lost JDF when he was kind of like in and out of this deal with Aaron, and they were working on this for a while. But at the same time, like you guys are saying, it's got to come out. It's got to come out.
And here's
if it doesn't come out, it's worse for him. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me interject real quick, because here's a bigger, and I'm going to speak from kind of sort of Aaron's perspective and just a creative perspective in general. Until this project comes out, it's not for us. We can speculate, we can have our opinion. It's not for us. It is for Aaron right now. This project is 100% his. Until it drops, until it comes out, then it becomes for the fans. Until that moment happens where it comes out and it's for the public, it is not ours. So we cannot dictate how long it takes. We cannot dictate what he's doing. We don't know what he's doing. And he doesn't have to be transparent with what he's doing at all, regardless of
yeah, but the problem is a lot of it smells like bullshit, bro. That's the problem.
And see, I got something I wanted to say. I got something I wanted to say.
The time, the amount of time it's taking to come out,
can have that opinion,
is making the fans feel entitled.
He ain't saying it. He's pointing it out, because Tyrell, you remember remember I'm gonna get off on subject, but remember we was waiting on Eternal Take for how many long years, nigga? And when we finally got Eternal Take from Uzi, we was like, we waited 5 years for this. Because it took so long. The expectations went higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. So when we finally got it, it was like, this shit mid. We gonna vibe, but this shit mid. For all you had us waiting. Yeah, but it took like 5 fucking years. After his like Love Is Rage 2 or whatever that last album was, 5 fucking years. A lot of teasing, a lot of dropping, a lot of saying I got bad deals with my fucking I got a production deal, all this other shit, which is understandable. But when we finally got it, Myron was the only song that you can remember from that bitch. Clean it like me. There ain't even another song besides Myron, because the expectations were so high. We were looking at it very, very critically. And that's what I'm saying. Like that's I'm not saying it's gonna lessen it, because this is a movie.
It could.
You know, niggas sometimes post-production will start 10 years before that bitch even dropped. You know what I'm saying? That's why like Harry Potter looked the way like why them kids is grown as fuck now, because nigga, that shit was done a while ago. So
impact, right? But he's gone, bro. So even though it can be affected by how long it takes to drop, because he's gone, and this is we don't get anymore. This is it. This is the last. It's gonna stick regardless for what it is. Whether the movie is good or not is kind of irrelevant, because what it is in culture now, it's either gonna be another Order type scam movie that the fans got hit over the head and it gets remembered for all this nonsense.
It's already shot,
right?
Though.
Or when it right exactly. So or when it comes out, even if it's not as good, it's still a shift in culture because of what it is. It's JDF's last movie, win, lose, or draw. It's gonna stick in the timeline, and it's gonna be there. It's gonna be something you always have to talk about, address. You see, hate it or love it. You know what I mean? So the effect of it, that's where the pressure is Aaron has to deliver something that can at least sustain the test of time, because it's going to be in the timeline forever now, regardless of what universe it is. In comic book culture and JDF lore, that White Dragon part of it is done. Like that's it. It's cemented. So now give us the movie and let the fans determine where it falls quality wise. That's where I feel the hesitation is. He really, really wants it to hit as high as it can with what he had to work with, bro.
That's
You
why he
feel
went
what I
back
mean? And he's aiming the
after he
hype.
died. Like after JDF died, he went back
Right.
and reshot
Right.
a lot of the movie. We don't even know like to the extent of how much those reshoots was, like how many scenes got cut,
Yeah.
what got added in,
Or what he shifted. Yeah.
yeah, how much the story is different from the original, that from what Jason saw to what we
I hope we get a
have
director's
now.
cut because I want both. If he do that, I want both. Like
All
radio,
right, so
nigga, I
check
want
this
both.
out. Let's go into this, right? Final thoughts on the White Dragon movie, and then let's segue from Aaron, because Aaron and JDF had a lot of problems with Boom Studios, the thievery going on here, obviously, and with the Draken saga when JDF was alive, the suit design with the Green Ranger, the Bat in the Sun stuff. So, do you guys feel like the movie's coming out this summer? And where are you at with the comics? We're going to get into the Dragon Prime series. And I want to bring this up as you guys give your final thoughts on the movie.
I'm gonna let you go first, Cam.
So,
Man, I'm gonna be real. The first words to come to mind is all I can see is in my
yeah, I'm going
head.
to bring this up.
We see the White Dragon in the White Ranger suit, whooping ass, and then there's a scene where Jason David Frank finally takes his helmet off, and I see that nigga, and it's gonna be a white light over his head shining down on him, and I'm gonna suck this movie off regardless. That's all I need. I don't even care if it's ass, but if I get to see Jason David Frank smile again, nigga, I'm good. I'm good. I don't give a fuck. I'm good. I just want to see that. I just want to see that man happy, because I told you when I met that nigga, he did not seem happy. For whatever reason. He was glad that I said what I said to him, because I came at him as a man. Like, I am a fan, but I know you're out right now, so I'm not finna, you just came to eat and whatever, but I just wanted to let you know that you were a big part of my childhood, my nigga, and I love you. And then he gave me those passes to his school. And I made that nigga food.
That's what's up. Well, that's why I think this movie's so important, because this was his step away from Power Rangers and his mistreatment of being a helmet head and them not really giving a shit about everything he's contributed to the franchise, and but basically resuscitated it whenever he needed to. Anytime there was a JDF comeback, everybody was watching. He was the brand at some point, you know. And I know he was their golden boy, and a lot of other Ranger fans of other Rangers think there's like a favoritism with JDF, but come on, he was the Jordan, he was the star player of it.
That nigga actually did it for the love of the game.
That way, like JDF's, yeah, like his charisma, who he was, like that's what really did it to me. My opinion with Tommy is because he really was that person off camera. So dealing with the weight of that is, I think, where the imbalance in his mind and his depression and his things and his mental health, because you know, I can relate to a lot of that. Being a man in general is something we got to deal with. That's our armor plating, is that the world don't give a shit about us most of the time. You know what I'm saying? So where we guys at as far as like where Power Rangers is going now from here? Because obviously it's going to change after the release of White Dragon. Everything's going to change. And I feel like the Prime series a little bit kind of already, I don't want to say biting off White Dragon, because I don't want to give Aaron that credit if it's not due, but I mean, they have bitten off them before. So where are you guys at as far as like this Prime series? Because what I'm looking at, bro,
I'm
not impressed. I'm just not.
Give a little my final thoughts on Legend of the White Dragon. I'm going to support Aaron throughout this entire process. Whatever Aaron says, like, I'm going to piggyback. If he said it, because it's different than saying me feeling like it's going to come. Maybe it is, maybe it won't. That's my feeling towards it. I'm going to hear what he's saying, and if he said it's coming this summer, then that's all I have to go off of, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to support regard if it comes today, if it comes 5 years from now, I'm going to continue to support this movie just because the legacy of Jason, for one, for what this is going to mean to the culture and the fans of Power Rangers. And I do want to separate it completely from Power Rangers because I know that's the dream that Jason had at the end. And Aaron, I know both of them, because this was both of them being collaborators, right? I already understand that they weren't going to see eye to eye on everything. They're not going to always be, you know, kumbaya buddies during the entire process. But at the end of the day, they had the same vision. They were focused on this vision. And I want to see this vision come to fruition at the end of it, regardless of how long, because, and then I also know it's Aaron's first movie that he's done. So I want to give him that grace throughout this entire process. I understand just being creative, how hard that is, and how much time that this will take to get it to, like you said, to get it to like, you know, like to get it actually being a luxury good. It might not get there, but hey, I'm going to support the process and I'm going to trust the process. Because everybody who's not creatives, who are just fans sitting back, they're not going to understand the actual process. And I have to separate Aaron's personal life and what he has going on with his personal life, with what this movie is and the business aspect and what his vision is in this realm of business when it comes to this particular project. So I want to separate that 100%. Him having an OnlyFans girl, it shouldn't even weigh on the creative or the any aspect of this project. Let's only focus on.
Let me ask you this.
Let
me ask you this. See, is there a point in the timeline as far as like how long it takes before it comes out where your perspective shifts, like, okay, this is not okay anymore. This is too long.
Neither here or there.
This is
not mine.
This is like
not mine. It's his.
What if he takes another 5 years? When he said it would come out this summer, does it get fishy after that?
I'm going to hold that perspective. It's no fishiness going on with it. It's not my project. Anyone, if we want to go back, the only argument that I can hear in my head right now for that is, well, the fans donated to this, right? And for that, I would say, hey, there was never a particular on the timeline. He never said, hey, you donate money, you're going to get it within this amount of time, right? That's never
but see, you know it's gonna affect credibility. It's got to, bro. If a movie doesn't come out 10 years after it was supposed to come out,
but it's not.
You know,
it
to the
can
fans?
for you, because I can't tell people how to feel. I can only go into the reality of the situation. Now, the reality of the situation, maybe he's doing this, maybe he's doing that. I don't know him to even hold
but that creates explanations, bro. It creates explanations on what took an extra 3 to 5 years when
but
this
he's
shit was
asking you,
already
what
filmed,
do you think? I know you can't say empirically what the fuck the nigga doing, because we ain't over there with that nigga. But
no, time out. He's asking me.
No, but that's not the question.
If it goes 5 years,
no.
Does that change my opinion on, hey, do I think it's fishy or not? Or do I think something sus is going on over here?
Or when does it lose?
It doesn't.
When does the film lose something?
Because
I don't think it can
at all.
I don't think it can.
Time doesn't affect it.
It's an interesting question. For me, I can't lose in this situation because I have not invested anything in this. Does it lose money? How can I say that an indie project has just lost money when it's garnered over 4 million or 6 million? We don't really know the actual number because we don't see those, you know, we don't see those invoices. We don't see those records at the end of the day. So I don't know how long. At the end of the day, we do know that when it does come, people are going to be paying for it. That's what, when we get down to brass tack, it's two separate audiences, right? It's the people who are going to pay and the people who feel emotionally invested in it, right?
Right.
Those are two separate
So
people.
you don't think the impatience is warranted at all? Any of the impatience from the fans is warranted to you, in your opinion?
Hell yeah. To me, it is.
100%.
That's
It
what I'm
is.
saying. That's what I'm saying. The longer you go, the worse it's gonna get for the mob.
As far as you feeling like you have, as far as fans feeling like they have a stake, though, in this, a real life stake in it, that's where I will disagree with always. And I will also disagree with the sentiment of it looks fishy if it takes another 5 years, if it takes another 10 years, if it takes however amount of time. I'm starting to look
But
at
that's what I'm
Aaron
saying.
like the criminal
That's the
as
point
an
I'm making.
aspect of that. Just because I'm waiting and I'm impatient, right? So I'm impatient now. This guy must be doing something wrong. He must be doing something fishy. He must be. He's not being transparent enough with something that he's invested his life into. We didn't invest nothing into this. We're investing waiting so we can watch.
Yeah, but check this out, right? Check this out, right? Let me cook. Rome, right? You never watched Gladiator? They said Rome was the mob, right? You control the mob, you control Rome, you control the perception of the people. You keep them
bread and
distracted.
circuses.
You know what I'm saying? You can move behind the scenes. Right. So if Aaron is using the hype around JDF, right? As JDF is kind of like the Caesar of Power Rangers, right? He's the face. So he's using the face of Power Rangers to project an image for White Dragon, right? Entertain me. So he's got to control the mob because the mob is the power behind the movie's success. So controlling the narrative and the perception of what's happening in the movie can essentially have the mob working in your favor or working against you, right? So we're talking about clout. We're talking about internet influence, right? Algorithms. This is the world we live in right now. So all this hype is good, right? The hype was better 3 years ago, 2 years ago, maybe a year or two anniversaries after his death, right? But will it be the same hype and effect how many years later? Let's say in 10 years, we're going to want to know why it took so long even more. It creates questions, it creates doubt, so it influences the mob negatively. So even though there's no such thing as bad press, he's going to create a whole bunch of more negative smoke he's going to have to try to gain success through instead of just delivering this movie in a way that he can almost bottleneck that hype and the mob to talk in his favor and build the hype
back on a couple
the
of those
drop,
points.
which I hope he starts doing if it is coming out.
Look, let me push back on a couple of those points. I'm going to push back necessarily on that initial point of Aaron is using JDF as, you know, the Caesar to control the mob. This is a project that they both went in on, right? I can't say one person. If that was the case, we can say that Jason was using Aaron because he's seen how good Super Beatdowns was. Say, hey, I'm going to use this guy to create a movie. We can say
that's just reciprocity.
You feel me?
Cheaply.
So at the end of the day, I'm going to push back on that point, stating that Aaron is using Jason's, even Jason's debt. I would say that he's more taking care of the project for the simple fact that this is Jason's last project and that his friend, or other than the business partner, his friend's dead, and this is going to be the last thing that anyone sees with his likeness in it. I would say that that would make him want to take more time. I would even argue that, hey, I'm going to make sure that this color correction is way up to par. And if it isn't, I'm sending it back. Hey, you're going to do this right because this is my friend's legacy at the end of the day. I'm going to make sure Jenna has a few more scenes in this. That's why we went back and did reshoots, just so if we do spin it off, we're going to make this a Jenna project, right? And this is just me speculating. I'm going to make sure that this project is as good as it can be. Just because this is my friend's last project. Fuck what the fans are saying. Fuck what anyone feels about what I'm doing. At the end of the day, when you get it, you'll get it and you'll appreciate all the work that went into it. And if you don't, then you're just being a critic at the end of the day. Who gives a fuck about critics when we are in a process of creativity? That's why I'm constantly stating the fact of it's not right now, Rican. You're creating NinJeTTi right now. All the hoopla that's surrounding NinJeTTi, it doesn't matter because this isn't for these people. This is your project. This isn't the fans' project. This isn't the naysayers' project. This is your project. Now, when it hits stores, when it hits people, now you can have an opinion about it. Now you can say, hey, I don't like this Ranger has this amount of black in his suit. Or you can be critical of it because now it's not for me. I've released it. It's for the fans now. You can have your opinions.
No, I'm torn though. But check this out. I'm torn, right? I understand what you're saying from a creative standpoint because I'm a creative, right?
100%.
But from a fan standpoint, I'm torn. It's like I agree with you, but the fan in me and the creative in me is also saying the longer you take, the harder you're making it for yourself. Even though how long you take doesn't matter, but it does kind of. You know what I'm saying? So I'm honestly torn about this whole situation because as a fan, I'm pissed off, but as a creative, I understand. And I want it to be the best project it can be, right? Because especially with NinJeTTi. Because they're doing the same thing with the book. They want book 1 yesterday. You know, they dragging me that it should have came out when I'm not going to put it out until it's ready, until I feel like it's where it needs to be. So, you know, I get that. You know what I mean? I'm not dragging Aaron for that. But the reality of the situation is the longer you take, the more you're cooking yourself a little bit in the crock pot and making it harder for yourself later. And how much that's going to matter will be determined based on how good the movie is.
But check this out. It also matters if he gives us subpar material right now, it's going to matter to the simple fact of his second movie coming out. If people feels like if he didn't put
you think he's worried about the sequel right now?
No, but I mean, regardless of what, if he does a fucking Care Bear movie next, right? It's going to determine if this movie isn't good, we're not going to want to see another movie from you, Aaron. He understands this. He knows that. So if he doesn't put his best foot forward on his first outing, it's like if Kevin Smith dropped Mallrats first, and then his second movie was Clerks. We wouldn't have gave a fuck about Clerks if Mallrat would have came out first.
Yeah, I was just explaining that shit today.
Yeah,
to somebody about Soul Leveling.
It's subpar. Look at Mallrats. This movie is ass. But we were able to say Mallrats sucks, but it's still a cult classic because it was his second film. It was the second outing. We gave you grace, and we waited and we watched Mallrats over the course of time because we have Clerks to fall back on. We have this amazing first movie. So now you have grace to go off and create other movies now. We'll sit here and watch. We'll sit through Yoga Hosers because we can always go back and watch Clerks if we don't want to fucking watch Yoga Hosers. We can always go back and watch
So I mean,
Clerks if we don't want to look at fucking Chase and Amy. And
so
then we
final
get
thought on Dwight is what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when it comes out. Is basically your point and what you're saying.
100%.
It doesn't matter when it comes out. Okay.
And we're getting down to brass tacks. As long as I know that even if critically it's a flop, right? If I know that he took time to put his best foot forward for the legacy of Jason, that's all that matters to me, man.
Yeah, as long as you feel like he did the best of his ability and that movie came out as best as it could have, I kind of won't care either how long it takes. So that I agree with you, you know. But I do think that the temperature is rising the longer you take,
is,
you know.
I want it though. I understand the fact, the fan in me, I want it so bad. Like I need it yesterday.
Yeah.
For real. I need it yesterday.
All right. So let's move on from the movie, right? And let's talk about the comics now, because Aaron, they had the Soul of the Dragon comic, which was some controversy that Aaron was left out of, that he supposedly helped write. So obviously Boom is going to be running parallel to the fans, no matter what happens. So this Prime series is basically where we're at with the comics. What do you guys know so far about this? How you feel about it? Where are we at with it? And then I'm going to close the show out with basically my NinJeTTi leaks and how my series is going to be different and completely differentiate myself from what's going on out here in the climate of the grid. So, you know, I see some White Dragon influence in this shit for sure. I'm going to say that.
I'm not going to lie.
So
I went and watched because the last time we talked, you was like, what's the cutting edge of that Moomin Rider, Common Rider shit? Because I ain't really on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Power Ranger nigga. So I went to go watch that shit to find that out. And there's 3 actually in rotation right now that are just popping. But like the new. But then I went back. I took a break from that because that Common and Moomin, bro, that shit get heavy. That shit get heavy. So I took a break and went back and watched the old Mighty Morphin. Just to see him turn from the white he went from the white to the Green Ranger.
No, he went from the
Am
green.
I right? Okay,
green.
he went from the green to the White Ranger.
Right.
That's why I was trying to catch up. And I was just sitting there looking at this shit from new lenses. Iron told me that Bulk and Skull, like he told me the whole fiasco that happened with Saban and shit, and they was the only niggas writing that shit. So I'm looking at it with fresh eyes. And like I started over from the beginning and shit, where we meet Kimberly and all the people. I'm seeing like, damn, old girl dead. Like I'm just like going through, and I'm just like, damn, Jason had to live through that. Jason had to live through all of this, and that's what shaped him into who he is today. And that nigga probably had more stress on him than we could ever probably even imagine. Shit that he wake up with, go to sleep with. That's not even out. You know, the shit that they was doing to Billy. You know what I'm saying? Like on set.
Oh yeah. A lot of the dark side. Y'all seen the Hollywood Demons, which I watched that. We could talk about that a little bit. But this Prime series, basically, I want to talk about how Jason struggled with Boom, because basically, like, as you can see, without Jason, this is the type of stuff they're writing and making. Yeah. So when Jason was consulting them and working with Boom Studios, is basically like different, because when Jason was doing Soul of the Dragon, they wanted to do a solo Green Ranger series. They wanted to focus a lot on Tommy. So the lore would have been a lot different. Now, this Prime series, as I'm watching it, it's got a lot of like real rugged looking dragon-esque suits. They made them real like rugged looking to maybe grow them up a little bit, in my opinion. You've got the lead samurai girl running the series pretty much. She's one of the head Prime Rangers. The Pink Ranger's a dude in this one. And obviously Eltor, is that where Zordon's from? There's a lot of Eltor. Zordon of Eltar or whatever lore in here, because a lot of these blue people are from Elter. right? So there's a lot of cosmic lore I'm seeing. We're just gonna breeze through this quickly.
Yeah, it's like me personally. So for I got to issue
what
6.
else?
And
So
bro,
what
it
do
was
you
the
guys
best.
think of the suits? What do you think of
Ass.
this Prime series? Like,
It is ass, man.
what do you know
Did
about
you see
it?
the fact
And
that
where does
like
it stack
one of
up?
the suits is actually pink, but it's like they messed it up in like color correction,
That's really
so
what I
it
want
came
to
out purple.
know, because I want to basically let you guys in on how my series is so different from what's going on.
Oh man, it's so.
Even though it runs.
I think the last good comic that Boom was put. I would even say the return. The return was 10 times better than this. Like they could have just let Amy Jo like continue to write like spinoffs of the return at the end of the day, or they could have just kept the continuity from the original from the MMPR comics and kept that going. Like I'm watching it and I told you I couldn't get past issue 6.
Hold on.
It's bad. And I see that they're trying to do like an emotional like storyline, which is cool. It's fine. Like you said, they're trying to grow it up a little bit.
Hold on, see, we losing you or what?
No, I'm here. I'm just listening.
Oh, Boom. Can you hear me, Cam?
Yeah, I can hear everything. I'm listening.
Oh, Boom.
It's your time to speak.
Can you hear me, Regan?
Regan, can you hear him? Oh shit.
That's something with Regan.
Yeah, it's tripping. It's hold on. See, it's tripping up the StreamYard, bro. I'm trying to keep the video going while you're analyzing it, but it's tripping the StreamYard. I just wanted to refresh what was going on. Yeah, it's too much for the software.
Yeah. It's so bad, man. Like we don't even have to bring that ass of a comic up on the cool.
Yeah, I just wanted to show him a little bit, because the suits look okay, because it's really going to come down to the theme. The Power Rangers is always about the theme, how the Zords look, how the suits look, and how campy the level of campiness and corniness. You know what I'm saying? So the Prime series is, I'm reading it, I'm adjusting to it, and I'm getting to know what not to put in my shit. So my honest review is it's okay right now. I give it about maybe a 7 out of 10 for me right now. What happened to Ian? We lost your camera.
He probably over there with them doggone cross goblins.
So
but how far along is the Prime series? Like is it just one book, or we got like a whole season? We got 14 books.
I think they're from an alternate universe.
That was not my project to look at. I should have looked at it.
They're on book 6.
Oh well, give it time. Give it time. Give it time. That's still a long ass time. Give it some time. Let's wait till book 12 to be real.
Interesting concept that they bought in. They're bringing in VR troopers, and then now they're about to do a spin-off to VR troopers. So
yeah, that's a good move.
I might give like the first issue of that a look-see, but overall, like this is it's bad, and I hate to say that, but it is.
You can tell it's written by people who don't really know Power Rangers, but they're trying to study the lore and create something that's cohesive.
Oh, they on that James Gunn shit.
Yeah, I can tell. That's why I'm trying to tell Power Ranger fans to have faith in Rican, because I'm a true fan from the beginning. Like I was there on the block in Bayonne when they were giving out coloring books in '93, bro. I was 7, 8 years old. Like I was born in '85, so I was there. I watched. You're getting all of that. I'm basically mimicking and paralleling my universe and taking the best stuff out of Power Rangers and growing it up and giving you guys what you should have got in 30 years. So we have something for the grown-ups. So I'm going to give you guys these NinJeTTi leaks, right? I'm going to close it out because this is where we're at, to me, in the fandom, right? So we've got White Dragon on one hand, we've got Boom on the other. The comics are okay. Let's be real. In my opinion, as fans, we're almost in our 40s. We're looking for, look at some of the top indie books running the game right now. Something's Killing the Children, right? Is a good indie book right now. Berserker, Keanu Reeves is killing it with his comic. Amy Jo did The Return. She did well with that. So there's potential, right? So I think the story at the end of the day has to outshine everything. And the Prime story right now and how everything looks, it ain't it for me. It ain't it for me. And what I got coming out and what my shit gonna look like, I don't think it's gonna compete, but that's here nor there. So I want to get you guys live reactions, right, on where we're at with the book. So basically this is gonna be what the book's gonna look like. It's an Americanized manga, right? And this is what Rican's gonna look like in the book itself. So check this out.
Hard as fuck already.
And you guys see that? Right?
Dope.
So basically that's me. This is the Komodo Dragon Ranger. This is Rican Ranger. This is Trey King. This is the first NinJeTTi leak. So when you open the book, this is pretty much the style and the theme you're gonna get. So there's nothing kiddie about this. It has a little bit of that dark undertone. It's got that early 2000s kind of like, you know what I mean? Late night MTV animated series, you know what I mean? Kind of vibe. So I'm digging it. So this is going out to all the NinJeTTi artists who are doing the inside of the book, which I'm going to bring one of them on. His name is Sam. I released a couple sketches that he did. I hired him for the inside of the book. But this is it. This is the main energy and aura and look you're going to get from my series, which, you know, code name NinJeTTi. They like to say, oh, you can't legally use NinJeTTi. You can't use power. It's not Power Rangers. It is, but it's not. Like I told you guys, it's with the keys, without the keys. So legally, I'm making my own IP. I'm copyrighting my own stuff. I'm homaging Power Rangers. And it's very similar. Like White Dragon is very similar, but it's also very different. Right? So what do you guys think of this style? As manga fans, anime fans, do you think this is going to resonate with people 35 and above in our age, and Power Ranger fans? You think this is
hell yeah, this
a good theme for the inside of the book, a good tone?
The background look like some Inuyasha, and the front look like some Afros. It looked like some shit that was drawn by the nigga that drew Afro Samurai. Be real with you. The back looked like Yu Yu Hakusho. The front looked like Afro Samurai. I'm loving it already.
Yeah.
That looked like Demon City Shinjuku in the back.
And the fact that it's going to be a manga is going to take it up to that next level. And your story is already like in depth. It's like it's dense as hell. So once you start getting into those first chapters of the manga, it's going to like it's going to like be something like special.
And check this out, right? Just to give the fans and you guys like a quick sneak, because they like to be like, oh, this is not happening. Check this out. The reason why, of course, obviously the delays in financial, you know, money. People got to get paid. That's where the book is at. Everything is set up. You know what I'm saying? People got to get paid. Shit costs money. Shit takes time, right? Same with the helmet. Same with my proprietary suit technology, you know? Like I said, if Aaron wants to help with the sequel and save the sequel, I got proprietary suit technology. I can't talk anymore. There's too much going on. So here's the book. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to drop you guys in, because I created this whole universe, right? So basically, you guys are getting Rican, this character right here, right when he levels up to level 3, because he's half Triforian, so he's essentially the Goku of his Rangerverse, of the Phantomverse, right? So because he's half alien race from this other dimension, and the whole black and gold Ranger Zeo lore, if you know anything about that Ranger, Riken's half Triforian, so he can sustain more subdivisions of the Zeo crystal, right? If you know the Power Ranger lore, the Zeo crystal is like the vibranium of my universe. So Johnny is like his Miyagi, his mentor. You know, when the student is ready, the master will appear, right? So the sacred tree frog all ties to the temple. Sakaar guards the temple. It's the lore is great. So I'm taking the 95 movie, we're going left, and NinJeTTi is the nucleus for all of it. So that's why you get this manga theme, this homage to Japan, you know, style, you know, to Toku, Shatsu, all that stuff. So that's where we're at with it. So I'm dropping you down where he's basically got his third suit. And any god level ranger can have up to 7 suits, right? You see how Goku has the different Super Saiyan forms? You know, I think ape form is 4, right? Then he's got 5, Ultra Instinct. And the hair changes almost like the color of the chakras. So with my rangers, the stronger the ranger, the more subdivisions of your Zeo crystal you can sustain, right? So in a battle, you can morph multiple times and have multiple loadouts, multiple weapons. Your Zord can have multiple forms. So the stronger the ranger, the more skilled they are manipulating grid energy and you know, this force energy determines where you are as a ranger in this universe, in the lore, in the power, how you communicate with your spirit animal, your Zord. It's very deep, bro. It's very deep. So I'm trying to figure out what makes sense cohesively. We're going to have flashbacks, foreshadowing. It's not going to be your traditional hero up and down type of book, right? So let me give you guys the bad guy. So that's Riken. This is the main 6 ranger who's building a team basically underneath him, right? So this guy right here is one of the bad guys. So we have so many bad guys, but this is the first leak for book 0 and book 1. This is Renegade Red. And he's basically an interdimensional quantum ranger, like an evil quantum ranger from another dimension that is basically knows where our version of Rita is and is gathering up resources and energy and stuff like that we don't want to leak yet to cause a stir in the grid to basically bring down the NinJeTTi temple. So, you know, aka the Quantum Maniac, you know, code name right now. So, like I said, things are getting copyrighted, names are getting, you know, research what I can and can't use. Like this book is in a transition phase where it's becoming a reality. It's materializing. So, what kind of vibes do you guys get from this bad guy right here? What do you think about this guy?
To be honest, that look like
what kind of energy is he giving off to you guys? You feeling this is just a con?
I wish I can zoom it in. Can I? Yeah. Okay. I now see the hood on him. I didn't see the hood earlier.
Yeah, I think I can.
Fuck. What is this?
Yeah,
giving?
I can zoom on in on a little bit more.
What is this giving? It's giving me something. It's Red X from Teen Titans for sure. It's giving me a little bit of that. But then that hood and the shoulder shit, it looked like he covered in blood low on some shit in the rain, and the rain kind of washing it off. But yeah,
and this is just a concept. He looks nothing like this.
Too.
I'm just leaking.
It's giving me Zed
a little bit of Zed in there, right? You know? Yeah.
Zed.
So this is just one of the early villain concepts, bro.
Yeah, he giving me
so
like
as you guys can see,
foot soldier vibes, and he's not the main antagonist, but he is a very powerful antagonist.
Right.
And it seems like he's going to give Riken like for the fans, your content. He's going to give like that. First
he's going to be a great foil for you. I can see. I can. He looks like a great foil.
That's the word I was looking for. He looks like an excellent foil just for those first couple of issues, and it's like that first antagonist before you get to those main antagonists behind him.
Or the ones that was manipulating him.
Right.
Yeah.
He looks like a hurt character. He looks like,
Right.
I mean, I'm just speculation, but he looked like somebody lied to him. I'm being honest. He looked like somebody lied to him.
Yeah.
I don't know how you look like that, but he looks like that.
Well, he's got his own agenda.
No.
He's got his own agenda for sure. It's a little bit of a Winter Soldier type of vibe. You know what I mean? Like, he's definitely got other things going on. So we don't want to leak too much, but there's multiple levels of visions, multiple stages of this. But this character right here is important to the story, is how things come together and how the new Rita basically awakens. So, like I said, it feels so much like Power Rangers, but it has such a different nucleus that you guys are really, really going to like it. And I'm going to send another picture. This is a leak. Believe it or not, when you guys hear this, this is a collab with someone from the Ops, right? This is my version of the Psycho Rangers, and this is actually a fan submission, bro. If I'm going to try to bring them up, you know, I'm shouting them out because, you know, we kind of negotiated in the DMs, but they're so perfect. And this is proof that, you know, the AI is a gift. Yo, it really is just manipulating the prompt, knowing what to say, knowing to get it, what it looked like. And I told them, like, you know what I mean? I'm definitely willing, you know, to offer you something for this because it's so perfect. But this is basically the theme I'm looking for. I couldn't design them better myself, basically. Right? So let's see if I can email this to myself here. So you guys are feeling the Quantum Maniac. You like that?
Yeah, like
what?
Yeah. As the first villain, yeah.
And then just
Yeah.
because boom, I'm more privy to the story than most of your average fans. So just knowing and then seeing the visual aspect and knowing how gritty the story is going to get, it's like, oh, this is perfect artwork to follow the vision that you have.
Right.
So I'm fucking with it 100%.
Right. So now these right here, this, but can you guys see this one here? Let's bring this one. This is another NinJeTTi leak. If you follow the Instagram, so when we start bringing in the Cosmic Rangers, right? The Time Force, Lost Galaxy, Space. This was designed by a fan, you know, in between all this, who obviously is a low-key Rican fan, but I'm out here inspiring other people that honestly, I'm not a hater. If it's good enough and I think it makes sense and it works in the movie, like I'll cut a check. I'll cut a check for it. You know what I mean? You're entitled to your whatever flowers you deserve for creating something like this. So to me, what are you guys' opinions of adding something like this? Like, and they come in every color. Like, there's even a picture of them with like an iridescent, like the version of it would be you know, blood red, blue, green.
Yeah, I'm liking it.
You know, and we were distributors. You know what I'm saying?
I just wish there was more moons back there. Instead of one, well, it ain't even a moon. That looks like a planet that's being reflected off. Something's reflecting off of it. But that could be just a fucking red moon.
So at some point, the psychos are going to show up because it's such an important part of the Power Ranger lore. You know what I'm saying? So like a version of the psychos just have to happen. So shout out to Tyler. I love these. You know, these are definitely going to make the script at some point in the book. So that's much, like I said, it's basically like 3 teams are forming one, right? So let me stop sharing this. Let's get back to this. 3 teams are forming wrong. So the first movie, we got the Forest of Fortitude, right? The Desert of Despair. These are all geographical locations. Thanos, you know, now they're going to be called something else depending on legally what happens with the licenses. But The first book is just establishing the temple in these places and the rangers that reside in these places, what's been going on with the NinJeTTi, where Johnny's at in all of this, what goes on in the temple, what my version of Zordon is. There's a lot to unpack in the first couple books. Then the second book, we're going to have, you know, the water theme. The water theme. You get the Megalodon Ranger, the Shark Ranger, Killer Whale, Orca, Aquatar, where Billy's been, the Blue Emissary. You know, all my Power Ranger fans, man, we're going to start going live, see, and having them hit the link and come and talking to us and like ask their questions about the book and talk to us about, you know, Beetleborgs, Knights of Terranog, like VR Troopers, Tokusatsu. Like,
and then we gotta
let's,
we gotta put a stipulation
all
on
this
those
stuff,
conversations. At the end of the day, do not ask us anything about the business aspect of these books. Anything creative wise, you can come up, ask Regan all your questions. Don't ask him anything about the nitty gritty of the business aspect.
Right.
Just for legal reasons.
And that's right. I just want the fans to know that I'm not scared to share what I can share about this movie up until the point where it starts hurting the progress of it or, you know, the monetary aspect of the movie. So the fans got to understand that, especially with all this attacking and online gibberish and nonsense that they want to put about me. Like, this shit isn't not going to happen. Like, at this point, it's just F you pay me. Whether you trust me or not is irrelevant. I'm being fully transparent and all the receipts are presented parallel to whatever's being donated as we spend the money. I'm bringing the artists on the show. You guys can see who's drawing the book. I'm giving you guys conceptually where we're going, kind of what the script is about a little bit. And then the third movie is a surprise. When you guys see how we close it out, our like Empire, we got like an Empire Strikes Back in the middle, and we got our Return of the Jedi. Like, this Power Rangers is very similar to Star Wars, and I'm taking that approach as far as like the universe and the trilogy and stuff like that. So
with zero Ewoks,
that's basically all. Yeah, no Ewoks. We're doing a different type of Zordon type character. No Alpha 5. You know what I mean? We might switch that up a little bit. So, but it's progressing. You're gonna get a book 0. Centered around Renegade Red, the Quantum Maniac, leading into book 1, you know. So, and I'm about to say 3 to 6 months. We'll definitely have something ready for you guys. If we don't have the book ready in 3 to 6, we'll have a definite date in 3 to 6. Hopefully, we're shooting for it. You know, don't quote me, call me a liar, all this other stuff. Like I said, it comes when it comes, but we working. Hit the link, hit the spot fund. You know, DM me any type of questions. Like, I got to protect it. This is my IP. This is my baby. You know, I'll tell you guys what I can, but it's coming and it's real. And no one's building nothing like this, like we're doing. So that's really all I got for you guys. Last thoughts. I mean, we're an hour and 20 in. Anything else you guys want to cover? The only thing I really want to say before you guys go with the Diddle Maniacs and all these people getting gaslit to come in my DMs and challenge me, and the moment they get a response, they're like some bullshit celebrity on this clown's channel. So, you know, all the Diddle Maniacs and Diddles and friends, like, that goes to show you how much power I have, that just the response requires coverage for a whole week. Talking to one of these idiots and all these reeking clones and low-key fake fans that act like they don't for me. And you know what I'm saying? Who are just mad that their dentist is doing them dirty. And not mad at Regan. So at the end of the day, fellas, they can't do nothing about this. The grid is ours. So, you know, I want to thank you fellas for coming through, chilling with me, and, you know, give me your last thoughts, man, on everything where we at as far as, you know, what we covered and what's going on.
Take it away,
I pretty much said everything I had to say. But if I had anything last to say, or last remarks is
last thoughts.
When you got something truly beautiful, when your light shines bright, the darkness or the shadows it casts get longer and longer. So if you getting all this bullshit and flack and all this other book, that means your light getting brighter and brighter. You got something there.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't brought me to you. So, and I can see Like, I don't know you as long as he's known you. I've known of you longer than I've known you. And
right.
And just seeing you and see how passionate you are about your shit, nigga. If JDF was alive, nigga, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm just speculating, but I feel like he would take you under his wing and be like, yeah, this nigga he really loved this shit. Like, really loved this shit. Because you could have chose anything. You could have chose anything to create. But then you got motherfuckers that don't create shit, bring shit to society. Niggas caught hitting grown men DMing you, telling you fuck shit. It's like, nigga, you just mad because you don't have the strength to do the same thing this man does.
So almost mad. I thought of it first. It's really weird, bro.
Yeah, it's weird as shit. But that's what's gonna happen. 100%. When you start building fucking walls, niggas trying to peek over them bitches, nigga. What he got over there? It must be something good. Yeah, exactly. Oh, fuck that nigga.
And my last thoughts to all this is, the only thing I can say is,
where you at,
man, like this video, subscribe to the page, and hit that notification bell, baby.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
Oh, yeah. And tell them we got that slanguage coming, bro. We working on music. We kind of on cruise control right now, but, yo, they don't even know. Me and C are monsters in the booth, bro, in the studio. And Cam is just one of the newest, smartest niggas I've ever met right now. So this is just going to keep getting better. We're going to keep giving y'all better conversations, better topics, controlling the grid, giving y'all grown-up Ranger shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I said we was Angel Grove, but I think we're going to be Stone Canyon. We kind of like Stone Canyon. We're not quite Angel Grove, but we the ninjas next door. You know what I mean? So we here to run the town. We love y'all. We appreciate the true fans. Y'all know y'all have access to me anytime. Anytime y'all need to, you know, DM me, you know, even if it's on the rah-rah shit. Y'all know I respond. Y'all know I'm here. So, yeah, fuck the bullshit, man. Rican's World, join the Discord. Komodo Dragon Zord Power. You already know I got the Blue Wolf with me. My man, the Warhog, ready to go right now. So, that's all I got for y'all. KoD. You know what I mean?
Labs,
the goons is getting crazy. The goonology is getting extensive, boys. I appreciate y'all. You know, so as you can see, we're doing big things. So next KoD coming soon. Yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Rican Ranger out. Stay tuned. We shall rise to the NinJeTTi. Till next time, stay safe. No one is you. That is your power. Peace. Now that you know the deal, gotta keep it real, off to the bag and peel, whole team in the field, shit you gotta feel, please mind your business for real, fuck the struggle up, yeah, I had about enough, step the hustle up, life be getting real hard.